from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Oh boy, is it time, an exciting time to not be excited, because it's, I don't know why I said that, but it's time to start a sleep podcast that's here to take your mind off of stuff and put you to sleep. If you're new, welcome to Sleep With Me. It's a podcast that's really here. If you're new and you've been looking for something to help you fall asleep, to take your mind off of stuff that's fun, lighthearted, like a friend or a friendly voice, welcome to Sleep With Me. This podcast is a bit different, which is kind of good news, right? Because there's a ton of people who are listening right now and they're rooting for you to get the sleep you need. And they're hoping this podcast is a good fit, but it does take some getting used to, because this is a podcast so you listen to it a couple times and you go, oh, okay. I had no idea something like this was out there. And if it works for you, say, I've been looking for this my whole life. I didn't even think something like this could exist. And if it doesn't work for you, don't worry. We have a way to get you to another sleep podcast that could help you out at sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. But as so many listeners have said, really hope you give this a few tries, see how it goes, so I can help you fall asleep. This show is, it's just here to be your friend in the deep, dark night. I started the show based on when I was a kid. I listened to comedy radio to take my mind off of stuff, of what was keeping me awake, and the idea, the pressure about falling asleep, that I should be able to make myself fall asleep. I didn't really like how that made me feel or felt during the day. And a whole lot of other stuff. I don't want to get too deep into it. I'm just here to tell you I'm really glad you're here. And I really hope this show can help you out. What we got coming up, support, and that's how the podcast stays free for everybody. Then, totally separate from the support after that, though, is a long, meandering intro that's there to ease you into bedtime. It'll introduce what the podcast is. It'll be some like rambling banter, mostly like this, half words and stuff like that. And then there'll be later on kind of a bedtime story based. This will be like something new we've never done before. Oh boy, will it be meandering. It's going to be the launch of an imaginary toy catalog that we've been working on, or the Cusacks have been for us. So I'm really glad you're here. I work really hard, and thanks again for coming by. And thanks to everybody that supports the show directly, whether you support the sponsors or support the podcast, or you just are friendly, spread the word about the show. Whatever app you listen in, make sure you follow or subscribe to the show, the free version. I mean, if you're free, because that way you get the episodes right when they come out. But anyway, I'm glad you're here. Look forward to putting you to sleep. And here's a couple of ways we're able to do it for you twice a week. Hey, everybody, Scoots here. As we head into another year of Sleep With Me, I wanted to ask, I'm so grateful I get to make this show and to be a service to people that are kind of going through the same thing I've always gone through with my sleep, right? But I want to ask you, if you're grateful for the show, like looking back, are you grateful for whatever the Sleep With Me provided you over the past year? Did it help you sleep, keep you company, make your nights a little bit easier? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is like your loved ones, your pets, the things that are dearest in your life to you, and like 1 is like, I don't know, toothpaste or, I don't know, dish detergent. I don't know what other things. I don't want to offend any things I'm grateful for, right? But, right around toothpaste, where does Sleep With Me fall? Is it closer to the 10 or is it closer to toothpaste, right? And like, how much do you spend on those things that are 1s and 2s for you? Like if a year of toothpaste is $20, because my goal next year and the year after that is the same as every year. And sometimes I forget what the goal of the show is. But right now I know exactly what my goal for next year is. It's to keep making the podcast that puts you to sleep. The podcast that you are grateful for. So if you have more gratitude for Sleep With Me than toothpaste, not that you should stop on the toothpaste or the dish detergent. Dentists, don't worry. But if you have the same gratitude, if you pay for toothpaste and you have the same amount of gratitude for toothpaste as you do for Sleep With Me, would you think about supporting the show, but right now? That's kind of the essential thing, because you might be the only person that's listening to me right now and that's saying, yeah, I'm about it. Well, no, Scoots, I'm a little bit, maybe grapefruits. I may be as grateful for Sleep With Me as grapefruits. So here's your chance right now to help me achieve the goal of putting you to sleep for the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years, the next 4 years. You go to right now, go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus, and then you say, I'm as grateful for this podcast as I am for grapefruits, or whatever, insert your line there, and sign up to support the show. You could do it annually. You'll save money. You could do it monthly. But also realize when you do that, you're going to be really grateful for Sleep With Me Plus, because it is the ultimate listening experience. There's ad-free episodes, story-only episodes, bonus episodes. Bore friends and Bore besties get all intro episodes, all night episodes. So you'll be giving yourself a gift at the same time of better sleep for the next year. You'll be helping me achieve our goal together. And if you're not sure, you could try it out first. But if you're listening right now, go ahead, say it with me. I'm as grateful for Sleep With Me as I don't know, I'd say like whatever the cleaner is that I use. But yeah, it's okay. Okay, I'll take it. I'm as grateful for Sleep With Me as grapefruits or grape nuts. I'm more grateful for Sleep With Me than grape nuts. And as you say that, go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus right now, though. Please, we need in order to meet that goal of putting you to sleep. If you can afford to support the show, I do need your support back, and I'd be grateful for it too. Way more grateful than grape nuts, because your support makes the podcast possible. So thanks for helping me make the show, and you probably hear it all the time. If you can't support the show, if you're not in a position financially to do so, that's totally cool. By the way, somebody else is listening right now that's going to support it for them and for you. But I think you're the one that's listening to me right now. So, you could support the show and then get back to drifting off, knowing you've done your part to meet the goal for 2025. And we'll do it together. And then there's going to be other people listening, like I said, that get to benefit from that too. Because you're not just giving yourself the gift. They'll be grateful for you too. That's pretty cool. They're more grateful for you than grapefruits in grape nuts. I mean, for sure. So that's sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Mr. Bart, a lot of people help out on this show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes too. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the mystery bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bart. Hey, this is Scoots with breaking news. If you get sleep phones, send me a message through the contact form on our website with your receipt, or let me know what Sleep With Me model you got, and I'll give you a free trial of Sleep With Me Plus. And if you get, depending on which version you get, it'll be 3, 6, or 12 months, depending on which model of sleep phones you got, but only if you use our link, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleep phones. You'll save $5 on sleep phones, and you'll get a trial of Sleep With Me Plus, an extended trial of Sleep With Me Plus. So if you sign up, you buy sleep phones, the best way to listen to Sleep With Me over the holiday season. Make sure to send me a message through the contact form on our website. Thanks. And what do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether that's the thoughts on your mind, the thoughts about the past, the present, the future. I like to say thinking thonks, things that go thunk in the night, man. I mean, those thoughts, could be thoughts, might be feelings though. It could be thoughts and feelings, feelings related to those thoughts, feelings that are there. Feelings that are about something coming up or something you're going through. It could be physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be going through something, getting over something. Whatever it is, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off of it so you could fall asleep, which is a bit different, right? I'm not so much here to put you to sleep. The only reason I run through some of the things you might be dealing with, because some people it's work schedule, some people they need a break during the day, some people they start listening when they wake up, some people listen all night. There's a lot of different reasons people listen and a lot of different ways people listen. But there is something we share here in the deep, dark night. And I hope you get a sense of connectedness or companionship because it is real. One, it is real that you're welcomed here. And then I hope this is a place where you could get some rest and you say, oh, okay, I found what I was looking for. Or if you don't find what you're looking for, that you say, well, at least that was a nice stop on my way to find what I was looking for. At least I feel like somebody out there gets me. And those are kind of words a lot of people use all the time. I'm not using it as filler. I'll use plenty of filler words, don't worry. But this is not filler. The fact of the matter is, even though I don't know exactly what's keeping you awake, I can speculate that I may be able to relate to some of how it feels. And even if you say, no, you don't know how it feels, man. You don't know what this is like. Here's the really good news, and it might not feel like good news right now. There's enough people that listen to this show or that just, deal with this stuff or, there's enough people, there's people out there, and there is someone listening right now who knows how you feel, who's been through something, if not similar, pretty close, and they can really relate to the feelings. And they're nodding right now, and their heart and is open. Because we all listen to the sleep podcast. You say, whoa, just a bit. They have a gentle, positive intention for you, is what I mean. And in a real way, not in some, I don't know. This isn't meant to be high-minded or anything like that. Like, this is true. There's someone out there, they might not know you, but they know how you feel and they care. And they hope that one day you will be like, holy cow, was the podcast I was looking for. And I didn't know I wanted something like this. And then one day you're the one holding the space for the new listener and sending them, whatever you want to call it, that energy, or you're just thinking of them in a positive way in your head. Wow. I'm really glad you're here. I hope this podcast can help you like it helped me. So that's why I go through that stuff. And the other side, or underlying that, is the fact that you deserve a bedtime. You could get the rest you need and the sleep so that your life, if it feels more manageable, that you could be out there living your life and that you don't have to dread bedtime, that it could be something you look forward to. Oh, I got that goofy podcast guy. Or at least you could feel neutral about it. So, yeah, I really hope this podcast can help you out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents, which means I'm going to go off topic. I'm going to get mixed up. as we've already seen. I'll double back. I'll repeat myself. I'll use filler words. You know, my voice is not traditionally soothing, but I am here to kind of keep you comfortable and take your mind off of stuff. And as I said earlier, this podcast does take some getting used to. I mean, one of the main reasons is you're out there, and if you're anything like any of us, you know, you've been trying to get some sleep, trying to find something that works for you. If you're anything like me and a lot of other listeners, you spend a ton of time and money and that kind of stuff. And then you heard about this show or it came up in a search or whatever, and you say, what is going on here? And I say, well, I got no idea. Like, that's what every person says. Well, I don't really know, but it's not half bad. So, yeah, if you're skeptical or doubtful or frustrated, that totally makes sense. Because why wouldn't you be? You know, I'm here to earn your trust, to build some rapport. Really, I'm here to earn your trust so you could stop listening to me, which is a bit different. So, yeah, just give it a few tries. If you already know the podcast is not going to work for you, or you say, well, I just don't, you know what, no offense, but I don't like you. That's totally cool. I've been doing this a long time. I have a website set up. I've had it for years, actually. sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. Just go to that website. It's got other sleepy stuff on there and a bunch of other sleep podcasts. So check that out. What else do you need to know? This is a podcast, but it's kind of a podcast that you kind of just barely listen to, kind of like background noise or a TV on in the other room or a picture that's out of focus or a friend talking to you on the phone for your benefit. You say, hey, I'm going to put you on speaker. I'm going to put you on, and I'm just going to barely pay attention to what you're saying. Can you tell me about rivets in a non-riveting way? Oh boy, I could tell you about rivets in a non-riveting way. What about, can I mix in some rivets? As long as it's non-riveting. Hardy har har. Okay, that should be the last riveting thing we say then. Okay, great. Maybe just keep it to rivets and, what about rivets? Okay, maybe, yeah, I guess maybe, yeah, because are those fictional rivets? They could, yeah, what are those rivets with berets, rivets? No, well, if there's a silent B in there, I guess it would be. That could be a new form of art, because if it was a rivet, like I'm picturing on jeans, they would fall off. I mean, maybe not, though. Maybe I should stop the podcast and just make my own, what do they call that when you add, like sneakers and jeans, enhancements? I don't think that's the right term, but you see, are those miniature berets on your jean rivets? Well, so few people use the term jean rivet that I know we're meant for each other. And yes, these are berets. Are those raspberry berets in your jean rivets? You say, well, who could write this type of dialogue but a sleep podcaster? Why, yes. Here you go. This is a 90s, 80s shit. Why, yes. These are raspberry berets on my, what are those Bugle Boy jean rivets? Why, yes, these are raspberry berets on riveted raspberry berets on the Bugle Boy jeans I'm wearing. That's like it was a commercial. Sorry. I had to indulge there. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, this is a podcast you don't really listen to, like a friend, and you have by the time your friend gets to, especially because most of you weren't from the 90s, right? I mean, cool thing is you could look it up at some point. I don't think it said. I wonder what happened. I mean, here's the question: what happened to Bugle Boy jeans? I mean, no, I'm not trying to be. How did we even get Bugle Boy jeans would be the better question. I mean, I can't even picture. I'm sure there's a good reason, but you say, well, what's the name of it? Well, it's going to be rebellious. We're going to take jeans. Well, there's already a jean company that's associated with rebellion. Okay, it's going to be like the Wild. No, there's already a jean company that's got that down too. We're going to be edgy. Okay. I don't think you're listening to me, but tell me more about your vision of, well, we're going to call them Bugle Boy jeans. Okay, did you hear that silence? Because actually the whole boardroom was hysterically laughing. Like, tell us about your main, well, like the guy that makes the sleep podcast, uses too much hair gel. The same person who buys purple neon hair gel. That would be our main. Okay. So more of like an Ames shopper. That was me. That's where I got I'd get my jeans if they made it to Marshall's or TJ Maxx or Ross after, which is probably where they were. But I just wonder because they say, fast cars, hair gel, surfers, skaters. Okay, can you tell me the name of the company you're thinking? Bugle Boy. Okay. You got is it set on that? Oh, yeah, because, and they say, I guess maybe it was some sort of irony. You say, oh, yeah, these are Bugle Boy jeans I'm wearing. Anyway, like I say that all with a sense of parody and irony, or whatever, like satire. And, here's the thing. I probably did aspire to own Bugle Boy jeans, but if they weren't at one of those stores, they were probably out of my range. So I was never, and if I did own a pair of Bugle Boy jeans, I got them on the, whatever you call that, the secondary market. Because that time, I don't even think I was a TJ Maxx shopper. I was whatever Ross or oh no, it's called something else, right? Almost had it. So anyway, now if you're not confused about what this show's about, you're obviously you may be in the right place. Because tomorrow, for a regular listener, even a new, so honey, what was that that new sleep podcast you checked out? Did you give it 3 tries? Oh yeah, I was ready to give up on it last night, but then I fell asleep. What does he talk about? Well, I know in the past he's talked about bugles before. Oh, like a bugle that you blow? Well, no, like a corn bugle, like a snack. He does talk about you pretending those are bugles. But I don't know if that's what he was talking about or not. I can't remember now. So, okay. Well, you look great. I'm rested. Thanks. Could you ask him to move on with the introducing of the podcast? So, sure, he can move on. The other thing you want you to know is that it's a sleep podcast that doesn't put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep. There's no pressure to fall asleep with this show. I'm going to be here over an hour, so you don't have to think about it. You say, okay, I got plenty of time. There's 600 plus episodes in the archives, so you don't got to worry about falling asleep. I'm here to the very end, whether you're awake or asleep, whether you need a break during the day, whatever it is, whether you need to listen all night long. I'm here to take your mind off of stuff and keep you company to the end, because there's people who are listening who can't sleep. I'm here to be your bore friend, your bugle boy, your bugle boy friend, bugle boy boyfriend, bugle boy, bore friend, your bore bestie, your neighbor, your bore bee, your bores, your bore bruh, your bore sib, your bore cuz, your bore bestie, forever, your borber, your borbra. Who wears Bugle Boy jeans? Your Borbra does. But yeah, I'm here to keep you company and take your mind off stuff so you could fall asleep. To be your friend in the deep, dark night. That's a Bugle Boy friend. The Bugle Boy friend. That's the most boring. That's paired. Those aren't jeans, so they're the flannel pants I had on earlier. They're not like sweatpants. They are sweatpants. So, yeah, those are a couple of things I need you to know. The other thing I like to explain is the structure of the show, because it really throws new people off, understandably, because you probably came to the show, and thus far, saying it's defied your expectations is probably not accurate. It's saying it's like not at all what you expected in a way that's not, it's not like, because defying expectations sounds like a positive. where it's more like your side, like it's like the side-eye version of Expectations, this show. So, and I mean, if some people may even barely know what I'm talking about. So I explain what the structure is. There are a bunch of different ways people listen to the show. A large number of people really like listening to this ad-supported free version linearly. So we make this version, and then you can kind of adjust, and I'll explain it real quick. Everything we do ideally has a beginning where we say, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And then I say something silly so you feel seen and welcomed in. And you say, oh, okay, I might check that show out. It seems pretty welcoming and friendly and goofy. Then there's support in this version. If you prefer a version without any ads, you can get that on Sleep With Me Plus or through our referral program. But most people, they like that the show's supported. So then after that, totally separate from the support is this intro. And the intros are around 20 minutes or so long. And while a small percentage of people fall asleep during the intro, most people are easing their way into bedtime or winding down, getting comfortable, or getting ready for bed. And that's why the intro is like 20 minutes. It's similar every time, where I follow the same structure, but I talk about something different and I get distracted. I mean, I know I've probably gotten distracted about Bugle Boy Jeans before, but it's probably been a few years. Or it'd be like, no, it's 2 weeks ago, Scoots. And I say, okay, interesting. How did I I mean, I could see. So, yeah, I mean, the funny thing about making stuff for the internet is, and it's cool, I mean, I guess in this sense, I'm guessing there's at least like 14 good deep dives into Bugle Boy Jeans on YouTube, or deep dive videos I could find and look up. So I don't know if I'll do that. I'll probably procrastinate on that. But the intro goes on and on and on to introduce new people to the show, to be familiar but unexpected in a way that whatever keeps you awake is constantly distracted, and you could just barely listen. So you know you could listen at any point if you need to. You just don't have to listen. Because I was talking in a non-riveting way about jean rivets, and then I got off topic about that idea, which was not good either, about putting berets on jean rivets. Oh, and calling them rivets. So, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of person making the show, but I'm making it for you to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff. So that's what the long intro is. It's not self-congratulating. It's not support. It's just a meandering start to the show. It was a show within a show. Believe it or not, there's a large number of people on Sleep With Me Plus that only listen to intro episodes. But you could kind of see as you become a regular listener what works for you, and it may change over time. So, I mean, that's why we've worked so hard this past decade plus to have so much variety, because I've learned that's important to helping you fall asleep. So after the intro support, then it'll be a bedtime story. Tonight will be an unveiling, or I think a proofing. The imaginary Cusack family, not the real Cusack family, they sometimes do designing for this podcast, and I've been working with them of my dreams of having a toy catalog. And they just laughed hysterically when I got on the Zoom. It was an imaginary Zoom within my own mind, and still they laughed. Just like that. Maybe that's where that boardroom laughing hysterically at me. It's like archetypal within my own internal makeup. So, but they said, okay, we'll come up, we'll try. We'll present you with a variety of ideas. And I said, okay, as long as it's something like kids are playing with it, or could play with it. And then again, there was like silence, but I could hear them holding their hand over the speakerphone while they're laughing. And so it should be good. I mean, I'm excited. So yeah, that'll be like about 50 minutes. So all told, the show's about an hour. If at some point you decide you just like, the stories from the show, you could get story-only shows on Sleep With Me Plus, or there's a free podcast, ad-supported podcast, Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me, that has them as well. So check either one of those out. And I think that's it. I'm really glad you're here. I work really hard. So do a team of people on this show. so it consistently can be here to keep you company in the deep, dark night because you deserve a good night's sleep. And I know what it's like out there. So I'm really glad you're here. And I really hope we can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple ways we're able to do this for you twice a week. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations. Everybody says Scoots here. This is a little bit different episode than we've done before. Though we've done something similar. We've had the Cusack family on before. Now, on Sleep With Me podcasts, they're the famous Cusacks, but they're not the same as the famous Cusacks of screen, stage, and film. And I mean John and Joan. But they still are, they're famous to me. And they're a team, a family that works together. They kind of designed stuff for Sleep With Me before. And they came to me with a very out-of-the-box idea based on the catalog episode. They said, let us design a catalog for you. And I said, what do you mean? They said, trust me. And that's all I know. They're going to be unveiling this, and they said it's going to be a very nice surprise. So they're handing it over to me. So I'm going to hand it over to Reginald Cusack, and we're going to go from there. Well, good evening, Scooter. It's Reginald Cusack. Good evening, friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Scooter, I'm really happy to present our catalog. Now, it's not a traditional catalog. It's prepared by Al Cusack. That looks like that looks like AI Cusack. Al Cusack, Scooter, we're calling. Okay. And Al's prepared a variety of catalog pages for you. And we think you'll be very happy based on some episodes of Sleep With Me, some intros and some episodes of Multiplex, which Al was a big fan of. And we're just going to turn it over to you, Scooter, and we want you to read it just like you would a catalog. Okay, will I be able to ask questions, though? Oh, yeah, Scooter, I'll turn things over to Al for answering the questions. But here's the first page, and you could just scroll through and skip pages if you need to. There's quite a few pages. Okay, so this one, probably based on an intro. Oh, boy, this does look like a catalog, a toy catalog. Or Toy-S catalog, strolling the meanders of my mind. And this one is very cloudy. It's got pinks and blues. And a doll wearing, I don't know, like a nice sweater, long blue and pink hair that looks very soft and comfortable. On the cloud, it looks like some sort of pink llama made of yarn. This is a very yarn-like thing. And the doll, it's got long hair. We don't know much more about the doll or the toy. And they are dreaming of a pink cloud with different things in it. And then there's a cloud with looking down. There's also a few rainbow bridges, but they're in kind of pastel rainbows, which I like. And it almost looks like the thing is kissing its fingers and saying, hey, I'm thinking about the meanders in my mind. And the meander is a pink cloud and then a bunch of shapes, kind of like a cornucopia of soft thoughts. And then you have kind of imaginary things in the catalog, like other play sets, but they're a little bit out of focus. I like that. And so it this one does feel like it's from one of those catalogs. Okay, this next one, Okay, this is definitely from an intro because it's like a spirit of Simon and Garfunkel in my imagination. And nothing looks like Simon or Garfunkel, but they, like, you still have the same, it's laid out like a catalog. They're on either side of like a door, which looks like a combination of French doors and stained glass. Or a giant stained glass window. And one has its arms crossed. Both of them have, their hair is both like otherworldly Art Garfunkel-y, because it looks like drawings of roses of many different colors. At least on the Art Garfunkel one. On the Simon, his is more swirls, but kind of rose-like. His hands are on his hips. And he has red pants and red shoes on. The Art character has blue pants and blue shoes. They both have vests and yellow shirts, rainbow vests with yellow shirts. And they seem to be in a cloud-like region as well. Okay, and then the next one, Secrets of Your Success Store. And this has, so can you tell me about this? Scooter, I'd like you to keep going for a little while and then ask questions. Or even speculate. Okay, so this page is more of a draw, like it's not exactly like toys, but it looks like it could be in a toy catalog anyway. And it kind of shows, it's like in the parking lot, and there's 5 people looking at a display, and the display is set up in the parking lot, kind of like a window display. And there's also a neon sign in the background that says, instead of success, it says sucre, or Succery, and then victory. And instead of success, it says Vicess, but a lot of victory. Secrets of Your Success Store, $3, $39. And then everything else is out of focus. It's kind of stuff they may sell. I mean, I don't think they have $3 at the store. But there's a poster about victory. Looks like a record album about victory. A couple suits. A comic book. It looks like a biography. Okay, this next one, interesting. So this is from that same episode, and this is really well done. It says the person who can't be seen arrives, and they're on a bike, but they are invisible, so I like that. Or they can't be seen. They're kind of a glowing blue, and 3 characters are looking at them. And they're kind of in an empty mall. So I guess other than the fact that there's neon signs, but I guess it's supposed to be a play set. So those are like 3 toy figures, dressed in fairly neon-y clothes. And then below that, you have different bike toys. So it I like the combination of action. Okay, this happened after this. This is very on brand. Okay, this really does look like a combination of play set and advertisement. And it says it biking through the mall. Now, this is where I start to say, Al, what were you working with? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 youth biking. We only see them through the back, which I like. So we can't, like, for the podcast, it's pretty good because you can't tell who they, then everybody has a freedom to project onto them. So I really like that. And the bikes do look like they're from the 80s. And then below that are more kind of catalog, like specifics about different bikes. There's a couple pink bikes with blue seats and yellow mag wheels. So kind of cool. Like, it's like, you get the bikes and then you can imagine you're biking through the mall. And there's also stores, Boulons, Donesies, S-Bots, Pusey's. I almost see Success. And I like the floor. Okay, this one is, so this is where I start to say, okay, so I'd like to ask you, Al, this one's called Act 1 Begins. And it kind of looks like it's set up in a food court, and there's a stage with, whatever the Pronesium Arch or whatever, and curtains, and then there's people on the stage. So it's kind of like a stage in the middle of a food court, which I could go for. Also, one of the people in the food court's sitting at a table, and they're looking at the camera. And these are all toy figurines. So some of them look like they're from a band from, the people on the stage look like they're in some sort of, very funky band from another world, kind of like a variety show from the 70s. Like, I can't even, like, I think the Brady Bunch had a variety show. And even the Brady Bunch would not have been dressed, because it kind of is like futuristic, retro funk, very otherworldly. Oh, so my question, well, I guess let me look at some more. This one is acting camp awaits. This is a similar setup. Looks like there's two people kissing in this food court. Again, it's set in the food court. And there's 4 figures on the stage. And then there's also figures looking at the stage. So again, I like that we're seeing mostly the backs of figures. And so I think, I think this is good stuff. Not a lot going on. Okay, this one is, these are interesting. So these ones are, one's called Trust Exercise, and another one's called Improvisation Exercise. And the improvisation exercise seems to be shot with actors, like a picture, and they seem to be doing some sort of improv warm-up. But the advertisement seems to be for some sort of kids thing you'd play on, like an indoor slide that's very small. So something more for a toddler. And it looks like it's a pink head of a plush. It's not plush, so it's plastic. And its tongue is the slide. And it's smiling. So it's like you could slide down out its mouth, down the tongue. And it has a big orange tongue. But this one almost looks like it's so there's a bunch of characters that I'm not familiar with. Like 3 of them look like they're related. And one guy's looking surprised. 2 guys are looking surprised. Like one's lying on the floor, kind of in like doing the Sphinx. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but not a plank actually. So I guess more of a upward dog Sphinx. But his look on his face is of like, what's that? He's looking to the left of the stage, but above him is somebody looking to the right of the stage. He's looking at someone else. These guys all look like they're related. And the guy he's looking at is doing something silly with something in his hand that's blue. And then there's a woman looking at the man doing something silly. But she more has like P-I-T-Y in her eyes for him. Like, oh, I feel bad for you. Like she's improving that face. And then on the left side of the screen are like the people really going for it. There's a woman in purple satin pants, a pink satin jacket, and a giant tie. And she's kind of singing, and she's like squatting as she's like leaning in. And then behind her is another person. He's in blue sweatpants, and then a suit vest, a bow tie, and a suit jacket with a black pocket square that matches his black bow tie. And he's making a silly face. Seems like he'd be making sound effects. And, yeah. And then the trust exercise, both of them seem to be in libraries pretending to be food courts. So I'm interested to find out. But in this one, it's a man in a pink suit with a yellow shirt, dress shirt. So he has a pink fedora, pink jacket, pink pants, and a yellow vest and a blue tie. And he kind of looks like the guy, there was once a guy called the Scat Man. And he had he had a hit called the Scat Man. And he kind of looks like that. And he's doing some sort of trust exercise with a floating guy in a yellow shirt, red suspenders, blue jeans, and a blue sweater. Okay, what else do we have? Scene Sealer. So this is another improv one. I guess it's for one of the toys, which is like dressed as a superhero. Oh, so yeah, this is performing. Okay, I get it. And this is another food court. This one looks like a food court. And they've got on their table some French fries, some sodas, a salt and pepper shaker, maybe a kombucha. And the scene sealer, though, is jumping into the scene dressed as a superhero with a wild look on his face. And then his friend is just like, what's up with that? Then the next one's called Backstage Confusion. Now, this is really creative. So this is where I really have some questions for you. It's two toys. I would say, I don't know what the shared vocabulary is. They both have long, perm-like long hair. One has a headband on. The two in the foreground are both males. They definitely they look like it could be the 80s. Because again, the one guy is in a neon pink suit, with a headband and what are those called? Wrist warmers. Or wrist sweatbands that go on your wrist. And he also has a butterfly chain necklace, a turquoise shirt, like a turquoise muscle shirt. And his hand is on his head like he's confused. And then his friend, his arms are out. He's confused. And he has on, he just looks like he's in 80s clothes, like jeans, a yellow shirt with a heart on it. And then a vest that it matches his jeans, but it's some very 80s strange print. And he's saying Backstage Confusion. And the other guy's holding a box that says Backstage Confusion. And then there's some cars similar to Matchbox cars. This is the catalog part, which is interesting. They're all listed with prices. And then they also have a box full of toys, which are kind of hard to identify. And in the background, there's a couple people shopping. There's one other person who's looking at something. He's confused. There's also a portrait of the man on the left, but it's Backstage Confusion. So if I had to guess, you gave out, so this seems like someone made this picture based on like what they had on a prompt of Backstage Confusion. Okay, Scooter, that's a good way to look at it. Why don't you keep going? Okay, the next one's the curtain call, and it just shows people bowing, toys, action figures, though they're dressed like teachers or professors, and they're bowing on stage. Again, it's in a food court. There's someone saluting them. He looks like he's dressed as a baseball player, and there's other people clapping. Ooh, this one I like. This one is taking place in a diner. And Wyatt's guiding an actor back to his scene in a noir food court, helping an actor find his scene. And they're both dressed in noir outfit, so I don't know who Wyatt is. But one character sitting down, and another character, these are toys, so these are dolls. I mean, I don't know, like... figure out, like, can we just use this as shorthand, Al? Sure, Scooter. What do you want to use as shorthand? So I don't know what you, because something like a Barbie, but not only Barbies, I'd call a doll in this case, even though I know there's a lot of different dolls. And then something that's smaller would be an action figure. Okay, that's good for a sleep podcast, Scooter. Okay. So these two are more Barbie-sized, and their clothing is very detailed. I think that's another thing. Like they have real clothes versus an action figure's clothes are painted on. Okay, that's helpful, Scooter. So if you say doll, they probably have removable clothes. Yeah, they may. Like these two both have fedoras on, jackets, pants. Maybe their shoes come on and off. But this one is really good in its simplicity. One of the best ones so far. If there was like, if you just gave these out and people were just, you said, hey, come up with a scene for this. Okay, this is another interesting one. This one has a character in the foreground, and it says lost in the script. They're like reading a paper that says that. And a mall, like a 2-story mall atrium is behind them. And it's filled, there's a lot going on. It looks like the mall has become a flea market. And they have a look on their face like they're lost. Then this one is called Improv Gone Wrong. And it shows, it says Retro Flicks is one of the stores, Pretzel Plaza, or some of the stores, and there's 2 giant burgers, and it looks like they're like as big as life, and some giant pretzels and a giant soda cup. And I guess somehow the improv with those props went wrong. Or maybe that's like the improv group, Improv Gone Wrong. And then they use props. So one person is sleeping. Another person's covering the other person's eyes. This next one's called a quick costume change. Like this one, it's mannequins wearing costumes, but then laid out in the foreground are other costumes you could put on the mannequins. So that one's also very simple, very 80s. The director's chair. This one has a character just sitting in a director's chair. Actually, there's some repeats. So, and also in the scene are 2 noir-style characters. We could see the Cineplex. There's also called the POOP house, something. And something, Cineplex Classics. There's someone sleeping in this picture, too. So this one's kind of a combination. There's just a director with a bullhorn looking serious, but behind them are 2 noir characters on the right trying to get their attention, and then 2 kind of sillier characters like from improv. Acting in circles. This just has, so this one could have been, there's an improv studio, Circle of Life food court. I like that. And this just has characters strutting, like they're going to be strutting in a circle. This one's the final scene. This one seems like you do a lot of. It's, there are characters on a stage. There's a small audience, but there's like a lot of people on the stage. One person kind of looks like Jim Gaffigan. So you got some different personality types. Maybe there's some sort of the final scene comedy club. Don't know what it has to do with Sleep With Me, but I like it. This would be fun. This might be a fun play set because the characters are very unique looking. So they all look like they could be different stand-up comedians. No one's dressed plainly, though. Like a couple people are formally dressed. Everybody's wearing layers except for one character in the background. His arms are crossed. He has a T-shirt on. But yeah, it could be the final scene comedy club because then there's a stage door. And it does look like a play set because, again, it has pricing and stuff like that. Okay, this is the same characters, formally dressed, and it seems like this one is everybody has a bow tie, but it says take a bow. So maybe you got confused with this one, Al. Scooter, how did you know I got confused with that? Well, because they all have bow ties on. They're on a stage. It says unlikely encore, take a bow. And then it has the food court again, which you seem very focused on. Now, what's good about this is there's some action. I mean, it looks like a play set. It wouldn't be the most interesting play, but if you had these characters, this is probably the best you could do. They're all dressed like, they look like characters because they have bow ties and suits. One person has a very long coat on, suspenders. So even though they're in a 1980s mall food court, they kind of look like they could be presenting at like a World's Fair in the 1910s or zeros or something. And so, and then the crowd loves it. And again, I like it when you have the backs of the toys so that we can use our imagination. But I can see, I mean, I like the chairs, too. Another one with improv madness, mad props. I like that one. Rapid fire improv scenes at the food court, mad props, and improv. This is a cool improv world play set. This would be fun. And it even has, this again is like everybody's acting like, again, I guess would be another advertisement for Improv Madness. This next one is called When the Stage Closes Up, Pizza Galore, Pizza Paradise, Props Galore, Cool GPT, PGT, that's what it says. So that's kind of what was giving you away, Al. Oh, what do you mean, Scooter? Because you've generated these, right? With you're the artificial intelligence version of Cusack's. Actually, Scooter, I'm just presenting it. But yeah, that's how we designed it. It's using your words. We're trying to make a toy catalog for you. Okay. There's also, so this one, there isn't actually a stage, but it kind of looks like a hamburger, or a really well done hamburger, and a soda cup and a few slices of pizza that are like 80 times to 100, no, maybe 100 times, like that somewhere in another world, they came down from the heavens and they landed on the food court or the stage in your case. There's one person crawling in the pizza that does look like toy. I mean, they all look like toys. And there's other people kind of looking with looks on their face, or as you would with figures, and saying, oh dear, a giant hamburger fell on our food court and a giant soda cup. So I like this one. This one I really like. Says the end of the performance. Now these are Barbie style figures, and they're sitting at the Take 5 food court. Rest and relax at the Take 5 food courts. They have popcorn, sodas, and they're all lounging. So I like it. They are rest and relaxing, and they're taking 5. And they are dressed like they're in the 80s, but they're just sitting around like at the end of her performance. Okay, this one actually has the pages in it. It's called Behind the Curtain Costume Corner. Don't remember this one. Oh, Behind the Curtain. Okay, so I remember this episode. This was in, there's Behind the Curtain in, that Spence's, but there's no Spence's here. Prop Palace is another one. Behind the Clump. But it kind of looks like toys looking at there's some toys looking through the curtain. So it's kind of fun. There's another one, The Final Bow, that you got mixed up on because everyone has a bow tie. But they're bowing too. Then you even have an ad for bow ties in the final act. So that's interesting, too. Thank you, Scooter. Walking off the stage, Wyatt, and leaving the food court. I like this one. Entering the mall, even though it says it's supposed to be empty. Sleeping ball. New boat. They're like, there's some 80s lighting from behind the characters. Again, I do like how you did it behind the characters. But they're looking into a shopping mall. But it's set up just like like you were playing with it. So I like that. Smell of cinnamon. This one is interesting. These are dolls, like with clothing. There's a giant cinnamon roll, Cinnadelights. This is dreamy. It's like what if every mall was a cinnamon bun shop? And then instead of at the center of the mall, there's a giant fountain. There's a giant cinnamon bun. That's like 2 stories, but it's still steaming off cinnamon bun smell, and everyone gets an effect from it that makes them laugh hysterically. Okay, this one is really good. Autumnal movie memories, and it has a movie playing and a bunch of people there watching it. So it's almost like a movie theater playset. It has some pumpkins. And one of the dolls is even holding a pumpkin and looking at the camera, which is interesting. There's popcorn. There's neon signs. And everyone's kind of sitting in a row watching the movie. And the movie does look autumnal. It seems to be animated, or the scene they're watching is animated. This one's interesting, too. This one's called The Magic of Malls in Neon. Malls are magical places filled with endless possibilities, according to Wyatt. And it has some arcade games. It looks like they're generic arcade games. And there's somebody standing there, maybe Wyatt in the future, or the current Wyatt, because he does look like he's about 40 to 50 years old. And he's contemplating things. And cinnamon roll debate. You have 2 characters debating over cinnamon rolls. And one person says cinnamon roll moist smells. Another person says they're standing on the popcorn side. And I guess they're objecting. They're saying cinnamon rolls for $300. So it's kind of, do you want cinnamon rolls or popcorn? Also, you have kind of autumnal archetypes. Julius J. Juice Concentrate Quest. Now, this is a mall named at, so this is a mall that's kind of like something out of what is that? Like that first movie that got made into other movies where the running of, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, the movie based on that. There's a lot of neon. There's a Julius J. I like this Julius J. Juice. He's dancing in front of an orange. And he's given a thumbs up, like drink Julius J. Juice. Then there's the backs of the characters are looking into the mall, which looks ultra modern, ultra neon. Then we got transforming archetypes into serial mascots again. Looks like you're kind of working on these. These don't look very done. Let's see. Okay, so this one I did ask for. So you have a couple different versions of Crispy Commander. Yes, Scooter, this is the first one. Okay, this is an interesting one. So what I like about this is it's unexpected. And it's not exactly how I picture Crispy Commander, but it doesn't look like anything, because there's other Crispy Commanders you presented to me that, I said, hey, that's too much like other characters. So this one kind of looks like a toy robot that you would play with. It's smiling. It has, It has a commander style hat on and arm pieces. It's anthropomorphized, but not human. Like, it's definitely a happy robot, and it has a giant bowl of cereal on its chest, and it's holding like a giant spoon. And I'd say this could be a Crispy Commander. I would say more like this could be a Crispy Commander's sidekick, but I like it. I would say, like, this one is cool. Okay, next up is navigating the movie world. And you just have this one, I guess, like, it's almost like a prompt, right? There's a saloon, but it has neon. There's some, like, this is like doing your best with toys you have. There's a couple of characters riding horses, like a Western movie set. And there's other characters walking. You do like having your characters strutting, don't you? Yeah, Scooter, we do. But I like it. It's like toys strutting. Can't go wrong with that. Okay, here's another one. So it's in the mall. This one I really like because there's a lot of laser usage and neon. But there's some characters in Westerns talking to each other. Then there seems to be an android riding a horse. So this one is both grounded and otherworldly at the same time. So I like it. Then this one is more of a drawing, but it's helping the archetypes return. And they seem to be coming in, though, and greeting us. There's two people that look like they're archetypes from a version of Sound of Music with adult males. Then there's a character that I asked you, like I said, when you asked me, hey, because you were having trouble, Scooter, you're breaking the 15th wall. Well, that's okay at this point because, like I said, hey, like, let's try to come up with different serial characters. So I had to create a character called Double Dice Mellow. I wanted to be like 2 marshmallow dice. So you have that character waving. Then you just have a regular person, a couple regular people in a suit. Then you do have someone that kind of looks like an archetype coming from deep from within the ocean. Some of the people are coming out of portals, or they're walking backwards into portals. You have someone that looks like they're from the good guys. Actually, this character, he's waving and coming towards the camera. He kind of looks like, remember a long time ago, because we didn't have Cabbage Patch Kids at my house. I think my sister did. But my brother got a version. There was another character called My Buddy. And my brother got not My Buddy. He got like a generic version of My Buddy that my dad called the something kid because he smelled very much as strongly with plastic. And this character looks like that. Then we have like a leaving the mall, reflecting, revisiting the mystery. Now, this one's really good. It's Wyatt. It seems like an adult Wyatt standing outside a mall. Like, so a toy version of Wyatt. Not exactly what I picture Wyatt like, but I can see where you're coming from. He's got a pleather, like, and I'm saying this really, a pleather jacket. So not like respecting and using fake, like plastic pleather. Like a pleather bomber jacket and jeans. His hands are in his pockets. He's just looking at them all thinking. Then a couple unexpected encores. Unlocking the secrets to the mall. So this one you're taking literally. So there's someone holding a giant key. And then they're in the arcade, like a giant old-fashioned key. And the kids are watching a door opening. So some mystery, all toy-based. This is another one I really like. It kind of seems to be another Wyatt reflecting. But it's like looks like there's a couple model sets for sale. But there's also a toy version of Wyatt looking into a mirror where he's remembering the dream. Then another one of them entering the mall, discover it. So some of this is repetitive. Okay, then you have your second version of Crispy Commander. Again, a really good version. So this one I would say if I didn't see the other one you came up with, I would have picked this one. But it doesn't work for like for the story multiplex. I think like we have to have something with a little bit more humanity, where this is like a serial icon. So it's a giant. I mean, in this picture, he's giant because he's appearing in a grand metaphorical way, but he's dressed in a blue uniform with whatever those things that look like mops are on your shoulders. Those are yellow. He's got a sash, a belt, and like things on his wrists that are yellow. He's very muscular. So a little bit different than we described him. But then his head, he has a face and eyes, and he's kind of smiling or talking. But his face is some sort of pillowy, crunchy cereal piece. That would be a rectangular puff. But bigger than the cereal like that he's influenced by. So the size of the piece of cereal works for his head and actually looks very natural. I think this is a great job. It's just we wouldn't be able to identify and feel for him because he doesn't look, you know what I mean? And just the other version you came up with is very good. Okay, then you had a couple versions of the tea shop with the invisible person. Helping characters return. This one has a lot of characters that are very interesting, including they have drawings. Everybody's laughing. So this almost looks like a gathering of just whatever toys you had. There's like one character in a blue sweatshirt that kind of looks like a bird, but it's anthropomorphized. Then there's like a robotic entertainer from a circus that's like part android and part he doesn't have big shoes, but if he was at a circus, I don't know, some sort of futuristic thing. And then you have characters in the background that could be from autumnal films. Now this one is really good. So you have an invisible, but it's not invisible. It's like he's dressed like a proper English gentleman. Bowler cap, a suit, tie, spectacles. He's pouring tea into the cups of two other toys who are sitting having tea. So this is very picturesque. He's floating, but everybody else is just enjoying their tea, but he's serving the tea. Okay, the next play set. Could you mind if I call them play sets? Sure, Scooter. Now you have 4 characters, so you got the right number of characters. And in some sense, this is bigger than if it was an advertisement, it kind of works because it's the Crispy Commander's love letters. So there's a giant, what are those things called? Foot box or whatever. Like you used to take them, foot crate. I don't know what they called them, but you'd put your stuff in it when you went to college or you went away. Foot locker, and it's open, and it's full of letters, love letters to the Crispy Commanders, and the characters are gathered around. They do look like teens, and they're like, whoa. They're like, we just found the Crispy Commanders' love letters. Then you have another one where they're kind of sitting around a table reading them as if they were magazines, and it looks like toys. So it looks like if you were given that instruction, you're going to have the toys reading the Crispy Commander's love letters. Okay, then you have Boyd's movie book discovery. And they're kind of looking through the movie book, figuring something out. There's another one locked out of the multiplex. So the multiplex, the doors are closed. And the characters are looking in. You do have a couple movie pictures with Wyatt, who has a big 80s rock, glam rock hair. But he also looks like he has powers of the mind. And that's the movie, like Wyatt. Okay, then we continue on the metaphorical one. This one is the projectionist booth plan. And it kind of looks like more of like a Hardy Boys thing. Then exploring the air ducts. This is good. It has a character in what looks like an air duct. He's on a blanket, which makes him more comfortable. He's in action pose. So I like that. This one kind of looks like an adult version of Wyatt, an imaginary Wyatt. It's a doll. He has on a winter coat, a red, what do you call that, a scarf, and he's reading Crispy Commander love letters in like a Blockbuster. Okay, then you have like another more artistic one, a plan to stop the projector, but they're presenting their plan on the projector, and everybody's kind of standing around, all the toys. So I like it, and they're like discussing this plan. There's also cool movie posters. Okay, then one called the Crispy Commander Discovery. This one is very avant-garde. I don't know what's happening here, other than these are toys. So it kind of looks like they're working in a outdoor newsroom, like lab, because they're gathered around old Apple II computers. But there's also a window that's glowing, and there's someone holding up a shirt to the window, and on the other side is some sort of character. Then you have one where putting the sign on the invisible person. I think you kind of got that wrong because they're kind of laughing. But, yeah. Then Walt Whitman Books, or Whitman Books. This is just a regular bookstore, but with a person who couldn't be seen in there. Another version of Wyatt looking at the secret invisible in the bookstore. Talk about the story of my life. Invisible in the bookstore, man. That is a story of my life. But yeah, the person can't be seen's in there, and the bookstore's full of people. The Fountain Conference. That's very straightforward. Everybody's just sitting around a fountain talking. I like this one. Back in the projectionist booth, there's a James Dean-like character watching a projector on a TV, but it's got a mood, and it's got posters for a new movie called The Rokazator, Boz, Rocco's. So interesting. Then this Crispy Commander I forgot about. I didn't think this was a good one, but it has Crispy Commander coming out of the air duct saying hi. It even has a neon sign saying the Crispy Commander's secret hideout, and another sign saying love the Crispy Commander. There's also potato chips there for some reason. But this version of Crispy Commander just looks like a human. Then a mall, kind of like a Barbie mall play set, discovering the magic of the mall. Toy more. And then this one. So this Crispy Commander, I think if we combine the two, he's got a giant spoon. He's also holding up a thing. He's a little bit different than I described in the podcast, but I think he's close. He's dressed like almost like a repurposed toy from the 1980s, for WW, like where you would have men in a ring dancing off, WWE, WWF. But he's got like blue sunglasses. He's got hair and a mustache. Other than that, he does look like a wrestling toy. But there's just something about him that kind of works. So there's another one, meeting with the person who couldn't be seen at the toy tea shop. Everybody's that looks like the toys are all listening really well. Another one of them reading the Crispy Commander's love letters. And the guy from Highway to Heaven looks like he's in this one. The character from Highway to Heaven. Then another one with Boyd's movie book discovery. This one, the toys are all looking at the book together. The book's the size of the toys, giant book. but they seem to be doing it. I like those ones where they do it like a plan. So yeah, you did really good. I mean, there's an endless amount of these. Well, thank you, Scooter. We kind of took exactly what you said. We worked with, I am Al, and we worked together to make something sleepy in a catalog. So thanks. Yeah, thanks and good night, everybody. All right, this is Scoots here with a Talk You In message from Helix Sleep. Last night I slept in a hotel bed. Right now, I'm still in the room. I'm looking at the bed. I'm not trying to, it's nothing personal against the bed. It was a nice mattress, but it's just not my Helix Dusk Luxe. And the reason I love my Helix Dusk Luxe is because I took the Helix quiz first, and I talked about how I sleep and how I like to feel when I'm asleep, which is I sleep on my side, I sleep on my stomach. I don't want to feel hot or stuffy. And I got matched with the Helix Dusk. I picked the Dusk Luxe. This mattress, it was just here in the room. It's a perfectly nice, we've had some good conversations, but my Helix Dusk Luxe has been my long-term partner, and I'm longing to get home and get back in my own bed. Now, maybe the Helix Dusk is the right mattress for you, but maybe it's one of their many other models. But this holiday season, you could be giving yourself the gift of good sleep. Well into the future. Think about it, year after year, getting into a bed that fits your needs, how you like to sleep, your sleep and feel preferences, not somebody else's. So what you do is you just take a couple minutes, you take that quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep. I think I don't know if I said it clearly because I didn't sleep great last night. I didn't sleep good. And again, the bed's right here. I'm not sure I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. I think the bed is thinking about taking the Helix Sleep quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep. But it gets even better because right now, for the holiday season, Helix has got a deal that I've never seen anything like this. The offer is 27% off site-wide plus 2 free Dream pillows with any mattress purchase. So it's 27% off site-wide, and any mattress purchase comes with 2 free Dream pillows. But they also have a free bedding bundle, which includes 2 Dream pillows, a sheet set, and a mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. And that's only if you go to helixsleep.com/sleep. You support the podcast that puts you to sleep, and you support your good sleep. What a gift. So take that quiz, helixsleep.com/sleep. Let me know what mattress you get matched with. Let me know which mattress you picked out. And, I'm going to get off this recording now. I'm going to apologize to the mattress I slept in last night and say, hey, yeah, it just didn't work out. But don't worry, I got a lovely mattress at home waiting for me to return. All right, good night, everybody.